Hi guys, Jimmy from the Ingate here. I am going to show you today how to clean a bridle and put it away. A lot of us are hitting the end of show season, probably going to put away show bridles until we get to Florida for the winter. So I'm going to show you what I do and what I recommend for all the Ingate tack. I will show you this bridle is the Balmoral. This one actually has blinders in it. It's the one I show my lovely thoroughbred in. First step, always a few squirts of leather therapy wash in the water. It just kind of keeps gunk from building up. The leather therapy products also keep mold from growing, so I'll use it a little bit more since we're packing this bridle away. I take the sponge, warm, fresh water. I change water frequently when I'm cleaning a lot of tacks. And then Hydrophane Glycerin Bar Soap. It's just really good at cleaning the tack, also putting a nice sheen on it. I always start with nose bands. It's always been my preference. Some of you have actually probably used this bridle because this is the one that if we're at a horse show and someone's like, can I try that Balmoral? This is the one that we keep handy. Go over the crown really well, over the brow band. And then because we're packing this bridle away, I have pulled all the keepers out so I can get into both sides of everything. There's no bit on the bridle because I use the same bridle, the same bit at home and at shows. So taking that off. This bridle was cleaned after we used it last time, but it's always a good idea to kind of go over things sporadically. Anyway, I've decided I'm not going to show again until I get to Florida, so it just makes sense to kind of get everything really wrapped up, wound up, tied up. And since not every barn has room for storing extra tack, I will show you how, when I pack something to go in a trunk, how I wrap it up. It's a little bit different than how I wrap things up to go in the tack room. Again, one of the things that's really important is using a lot of pressure. The sponge is mostly dry. I rinse frequently. If this were a dirtier bridle, I'd probably be rinsing even a little more than what I am. I actually see on this one there's a little bit of gunk, which was underneath the cheek piece. And then same with the reins, a lot of force. You know, we're playing with these horses, riding these horses. They're pulling on us, we're pulling on them. There's always a lot of tension on it. The leather, if it's good leather, can handle the pressure. It also helps you find, especially on a rein, if you've got a loose laces, or if you've got loose stitches in your noseband or out of buckle. So once I've gone over everything, I just quickly wiped over all the pieces here. I tend to use the same sponge. I know some people have preferences on swapping sponges, that's a little personal. But because I'm going to pack this away, I'm going to use the Leather Therapy Conditioner and Restorer. It has mold inhibitors in it, so tack that you're not going to be using is good for. Tack that you are using but you're in an area that tends to be humid and prone to mold, also good to use. I put a generous amount, probably half a teaspoon on the sponge. Again, working it in. The more you work it in, you know, with the pressure of just pushing, because I have one in this band, I'm pulling on it quite vigorously because I undid the buckle, undid the keepers. It's popping out on this guy. So I go over the whole thing. I tend to like tack a little softer, a little moister, so I tend to use a little more conditioner than a lot of people. If you keep your tack a little bit on the drier side, Just stay a little diligent. Just make sure things aren't getting cracks. Because once cracks start, that's where things start to split. So once I've gone over the whole bridle, move on to the next. Reins, martingales. I have all the pieces here. I'm not putting tons of conditioner on today because it has been kept pretty well conditioned. But I think of my tag similar to how I treat my skin. I clean it, even with the conditioner, I'll occasionally rinse things off. And then the conditioner, think of as a lotion or a moisturizer. Has a similar effect on the leather. On the martingales, I do move the donuts. I get inside the loops, pull things back through. This bridle we have handmade in England with Sedgwick leather. When we designed this, I actually asked the tannery to give me leather similar to what the bridles were made out of in the 80s and 90s. So if you've seen the bridles unconditioned, unoiled, they all tend to be a little bit orangey. The same with the core collection with the Hunter bridle, the Derby figure 8. It allows the leather to teen up and kind of condition it. Color ages and grows. Now that the bridle's clean, I'm putting all the keepers back in. On the Balmoral, we use black rubber bands to keep the blinders in place, but since it's going to be stored, I've got them off. I'm just running cheek pieces, the stud hook closures through the top keeper and in. I will do the same with the reins. Just tidies everything up a little bit so this stud hook is not out, possibly getting stuck on something. And then while the bridle's on the hook, I put the reins over top. I take the martingale at the donut, put the donut at the top. Again, all my keepers are in place. I take the throat latch across the front. Because it's being stored, I'm going to wrap it a little tighter than I would if I were doing it in the stable, just leaving it in the tack room. And I went across twice. And again, pull the throat latch through its end of the crown piece, not buckled, and then both keepers on. Bottom keeper's a little tight on this one. And then on the noseband, I still only do it one time just because I don't want to cause the noseband to curl over time. But ends up allowing the bridle to pack away tight, clean, tidy, I check. I don't need to have anything repaired before I get to the winter circuit. And I am ready to roll when I get to Florida either mid-December or early January. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back at some point with some more tips for you.